You hear a lot about Europe's economy slowing down, right? But what if I told you there's one major country that isn't just surviving, but is absolutely thriving? Today, we're digging into how Poland quietly became Europe's unexpected economic powerhouse.
For years now, the main story about Europe's economy has been, well, stagnation. You know the drill. Debt crises, aging populations, and not a lot of that game-changing innovation we're all looking for. It's a slowdown that's affecting pretty much the whole continent.
But here's the thing. For a while now, hiding in plain sight amidst all that gloom, there has been one very big exception. And that exception, of course, is Poland. So let's get into how, exactly, it's defying this continent-wide slowdown. And when you put them side by side, the contrast is just stark. While a lot of Europe is dealing with debt crises, an aging workforce, and just general stagnation, Poland's story is totally different. We're talking manageable debt, a more favorable demographic outlook, and real, consistent growth, driven by genuine innovation.
So the big question is, how? How did they pull this off? What's the secret sauce here?
Okay, to really get it, we have to rewind the clock. The answer starts way back in the 1990s, with this one huge decision that set Poland on a totally different track from its neighbors.
And you really have to appreciate just how far they've come. Think about this. Back in the 90s, Poland's GDP per capita was just $1,700. That is less than 10% of what folks were making in the West. They were starting from almost nothing.
And this is where that key decision comes in. See, while a lot of other post-Soviet countries went for shock therapy, basically ripping the Band-Aid off with a super-fast sell-off of state assets, which created a ton of powerful oligarchs, Poland did something different. They took a slower, more careful, multifaceted approach. The result? No oligarchs. Instead, they built a foundation for real competition.
Okay, so that foundational decision brings us to their modern playbook, which is really this smart mix of three things: leveraging the EU, embracing technology, and developing homegrown talent. All right, first up, the European Union. Poland has been the single biggest recipient of these EU funds. We're talking a staggering 213 billion euros. But look, the real genius here isn't just getting the cash, it's about what they did with it. Because, joining the EU can be a real double-edged sword for a developing economy. Sure, you get amazing access to the single market, but on the flip side, you risk brain drain, and you can lose control over your own money. Just ask countries like Greece and Spain how painful that can be.
And this is Poland's secret weapon, its absolute masterstroke. They are in the EU, but they never adopted the euro. By keeping their own currency, the Zloty, they kept control. It's this crucial shock absorber that other countries in their position just don't have.
So with that EU money and control of their own currency, Poland went all in on dodging what's called the middle income trap. They didn't just settle for being Europe's factory floor, no way. They built a high-tech economy with a huge automotive sector and a tech market that's now home to almost 500,000 IT professionals.
And what about that brain drain problem? Well, they're tackling it head-on. Step one is financial. Yeah, they cut income tax for young workers. But it's more than that. They're creating real opportunities, building these tech hubs. And the pitch is crucial. It's not just about a high salary. It's about offering meaningful work, a mission. The message is, sure, you could earn more somewhere else, but here, you get to build the future.
Okay, now for the final piece of the puzzle. And this one is maybe the most complex and controversial. We're talking about a massive investment in military spending.
And when I say massive, I mean it. We're talking about over 300% growth in military spending in just the last 10 years. That's a huge economic driver for sure, but it is also an incredibly high-stakes gamble.
So you've got this real dilemma. On the one hand, the risks are huge, potentially unsustainable debt. But on the other hand, the opportunities are real too. It creates jobs, trains a skilled workforce, spurs new infrastructure, and even pushes them toward energy independence.
So you have to ask, why take such a massive risk? Well, this quote really nails it. If you look at history, Poland has often been caught in the middle of major conflicts. This spending, it's a national insurance policy. It's an economic bet driven by history to make sure that never, ever happens again.
All right, so when you put all these pieces together, what does it all mean for the future? Is Poland just playing catch-up, or are we watching a true breakout star emerge in Europe?
Well, the numbers don't lie. Just look at this. While the established giants, Germany and France,
have basically flatlined. Poland's growth has been off the charts. It's dynamic, it's sustained. They are, without a doubt, outpacing the old guard.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are some serious hurdles still in the way. For one, Poland's growth depends heavily on trade with the very same EU economies that are stagnating, and as their own incomes rise, they might become less attractive for foreign investment. And of course, that huge military budget could become a serious debt problem. They're still in catch-up mode.
And really, that's the heart of the challenge, isn't it? Because playing catch-up is one thing. It's hard, but it's doable. But actually surpassing the established leaders, that is an incredibly tall order for any nation.
Which I think brings us to this quote, which just sums it all up perfectly. Poland may not have started with the best hand, geographically or economically, but it is playing extremely well with the cards it's been dealt, making one smart strategic move after another.
So, that leaves us with the big, final question to think about. Is what we're witnessing in Poland a blueprint that other countries in Europe could follow to kickstart their own growth? Or is this just a unique, temporary success story destined to slow down like all the rest?